Hello furniture refinishing friends, this is Shannon with Black Sheep House. Today's video is very beginner friendly, so much so that my daughter was able to help me refinish these two stools that are going to be going into a cool tween hangout room. Very easy to do from beginning to end. I'm going to share the whole process. I would love for you guys to subscribe. If you like furniture refinishing or are curious about it, this is the perfect channel for you. Let's get to it. I don't even know where I got these bar stools. I don't know if somebody gave them to me or what, but the one on the all the way on the right had been sitting outside. The kids used it on the deck and stuff, and I had no plans of refinishing them, so I didn't even think to keep it in the garage. But we're going to see if we can bring that one back to life, but we're definitely doing the two that you see us working on right now. Starting out with 80 grit to just get any chipping paint off of the legs. I'm not going to sand that all the way down to the wood like we did the top, but you'll definitely need to sand the top all the way down to the wood for the stain, the paint wash stain that we're going to be using. So 80 grit to start. Yeah, it's really hot in the middle of the summer refinishing furniture. Definitely need some beverages. And then using 220 grit to smooth everything out. This is really important, but it is quick. All you want to do is just go over the entire piece with 220 grit sandpaper, especially the top where we sanded it all the way down. Get it nice and smooth, and yeah, vacuuming it up with the shop vac. We're going to be making a paint wash, which is so cool because it's water-based. It works like a stain and like a gel stain. It just is such a cool way to color your wood. And now that I've been doing paint washes, I'm so in love with them. I don't know if I'll ever go back to those stinky oil-based stains. So all you have to do is mix half water and half paint. That's the ratio we did. It was about a half a cup of water and half a cup of paint. And then we ended up having so much extra to do these wood tops. And I just apply with Costco paper towels, but you could apply with a washcloth, a lint-free cloth, whatever you have on hand. I end up doing about, I would call it 2 coats of this. So first coat, getting it on there, let it dry a little bit, and then layering on a second coat to get rid of all the yellowness and get to that nice, like, taupey color that I'm going for. I used to do a lot of whitewashes, and don't get me wrong, I'm still going to do whitewashes, but I found for wood, especially with the more like boho and modern farmhouse and stuff like that, looks that the tan and taupe and beige paint washes actually work a lot better, and it makes a lot of sense. If you've ever applied makeup, you usually use a foundation that has browns and greens in it instead to like neutralize the red and yellow tones in your skin. So it makes a lot of sense in like color theory here. It's probably a good idea, even though it's just house paint, to wear some gloves. I've got my little cheap gloves that I get like a bazillion pairs, and they're not the comfiest things, and they kind of slide off, and they're not great for like really toxic situations, but for things like this, they work wonderfully. I'll link those. Like I said, I do about 2 coats, so get it on there. It dries really fast, and we were working outside, so it was really drying fast. And you see me sort of dabbing or pushing. It's because there's like indents in the wood that you can't see, like just where somebody nicked it or whatever. And so I'm trying to get some paint in those little indents. I do the top first, just going all the way across from one end to the other. And then I go around the edges, which is very similar to how I paint the tops of dressers. So just from one end to the other, swipe, 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 swipe. You'll want to wait until the first layer of paint wash is dry before you apply the second layer, but we are working out in the summer heat and everything is drying really fast. So you see me, I'm just able to apply 1 coat and then immediately go in with the second. And also, if you make too much of this paint wash, it's super easy to just keep it, and you can just store it in your little paint sample container even, or a jar, whatever you have on hand. We're just using some Kroger bags to cover and protect the top. And the way this worked, I I actually had to go back in after we were done and touch up some of the under parts because I've done this before and I did it with aluminum foil and it just kind of leaves a little bit like where the bag was, but still not enough to deter me from doing it this way. I definitely like being able to use the plastic bags and protect my top. I'm using 2 different spray paints. I'm using the Satin finish. They're both Rustoleum. Satin finish, and then I had the matte finish. I was just curious which one I would like better. I wanted to try them both out, but I ended up liking them both pretty much the same. They kind of look the same. The matte finish was more matte and the satin was more satin. So there you go. But it doesn't really matter because we're putting a satin wipe on poly on afterwards, so the finish for me didn't matter much. But I'm also finding that the more matte a paint is, especially a dark color, the harder it is to top coat without kind of like getting fingerprints and marks and scuffs and stuff. So I'm leaning towards satin finishes for darker colors anyway. And then if you just do a matte top coat, voila, you have a matte finish. So, and it will make any finish more matte. This wipe on poly is my favorite go-to at this point for durability, and it's what I use on tabletops and whatnot. It's really strong once it cures, and it cures in 24 hours. When I discovered wipe on poly working on a tabletop, I just felt like it was such a game changer for me. Like I said, at this point, for durability, this is my go-to top coat. And I will use it for tabletops, coffee tables. Things are going to get a lot of use, chairs, and yeah, it's oil-based. It's a little bit more of a pain to work with. I use cut up t-shirts and then I lay them out to dry and then I throw them away. And you do have to like clean up with mineral spirits. So it is a little bit more of a hassle to work with, but not too much, It actually, you just pour it on, you use the rag or the little cloth there and then toss it out after it's dry and call it good. You don't even have to wash a paintbrush. Maybe it's easier. Maybe I'm thinking about this all wrong. Maybe wipe on poly is way easier than the hassle of brush on poly. What do you think? You guys let me know in the comments if you've tried wipe on poly. So yeah, using paint thinner or mineral spirits to clean up. I did get a little bit on my hands when I didn't have my gloves on to start. Okay, here's the before. And here is the after of 2 of the stools. Stay tuned, and I'm going to show you guys what we did with the other stool. I think these turned out great. My kids love them, and they're going to look so cool in their hangout room. Here is the bonus one. We ended up chopping off the legs to make it short enough for a desk, and we did some copper on top. Let me know in the comments if you guys want to know what we did for this one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!